Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making homemade corn dogs. I don't know about you, but when we go to a fair or a carnival, our favorite part of the experience is the food. I love the turkey legs, the grilled corn, the funnel cakes, and the corn dogs. Now, once you make these homemade, I can assure you, if you have a frozen box of corn dogs in your freezer, you're going to throw them in the trash because that's where they belong. Once you make them fresh, it just opens up a brand new world. Now, I'm starting with my dry ingredients, and I've already added 1 cup and 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour to my bowl. And next, I'm going to add some of this cornmeal. This is Hall's extra fine cornmeal. I use this for everything that calls for cornmeal. And 1.5 cups is going in this. I love this particular brand because, first of all, it's delicious, but second of all, it comes in an extra fine texture, and I just think it's so good. Now, I'm also adding a teaspoon of baking powder. That's going right in. 1/4 cup of sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, I'm just going to mix this together. No need to sift it. The cornmeal comes already sifted, so it's already nice and light and fluffy. And now let's talk about our wet ingredients. I've got an egg, buttermilk, and a tablespoon of melted butter. And I'm using 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Might have should have put on my glasses there. And 1 egg. Before I add this butter, I'm just going to mix this egg and buttermilk together. You know, this is a fabulous recipe to get the kids to help with. As a matter of fact, last year I got my cousin's grandchildren together and we all made them together and we had so much fun. Now, this is a tablespoon of melted butter. You can also use vegetable oil, but hey, when you have the chance to use some butter, why not? I'm also using a tablespoon of honey. This is optional, but it's so good with this cornmeal. I'm not measuring my honey, I'm just eyeballing it. Speaking of honey, my little honey, my miniature schnauzer, definitely wants to bark at something. So if you hear some barking, she's watching our neighbors walk by. Okay, now I'm going to add my wet ingredients to my dry. Just simple as that. Just mix this up really good. If your batter is a little thick, then just add a little bit more buttermilk. Look at this batter. It looks so good. This is exactly what you want to see, this consistency. Now, I have my peanut oil heating up. I'm using a Dutch oven to fry in, and I'm heating the oil to 350 degrees. I'm actually using a thermometer for this because as I add these corn dogs, I don't want my oil to get too hot. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick. And I have got my glass and I have my handy dandy Ziploc bag. And, you know, I don't even think I need that funnel. I'm going to put some of this right in my Ziploc bag. And this batter is something that you can make ahead of time. If you want to make this the day before, it's perfectly fine. Not only that, if you've got any left over, it'll keep for up to a week. Now let's talk about the hot dogs. And let me get my oil a little bit closer. I've actually taken a Sharpie, put it on the degrees that I need it to be, 350, which is for the most part what the temperature needs to be when you're frying something, but I cannot see it unless I have marked it with a Sharpie. Oh my goodness. Now, I've got my hot dogs ready to go. And I'll tell you a little something, and this is going to be an optional thing for you to do. I actually cook my hot dogs first. You can boil them or you can roast them, whatever you want to do. You can cook them in the oven, let them come up to room temperature, and then dry them off really well with a paper towel. Now, some recipes will tell you to add a little bit of cornstarch on the hot dogs, but I found that you really don't need to as long as they're good and dry. And you can use popsicle sticks, you can use skewers. I have these, I got them at the grocery store, and they work perfect. I don't want to use a skewer when I'm serving this to children because they have points on them, and I just don't want to do that. Let's see. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to break one of these, and for the little kids that you don't want running around with a stick, we're going to cook one of these with a toothpick, and then I'll take the toothpick out and they can have something that they can just hold with their fingers. There we go. And one more here. And what you're going to do is just slide that in. Try to keep it in the middle. Now I am going to give these just a last little pat with a paper towel. And what I'm doing is this is going right in. Just going to swirl it. And there we go. Now this is going right in my oil. Just going to hold this in at an angle until that seals. And I am going to cook 2 to 3 at a time. And this is sticking really well. So no cornstarch needed. Look at these. These are only going to cook maybe 3-4 minutes tops if you have your oil temperature correct. That's why, again, I like to cook the hot dogs before, because the outside is going to get done really quick, but the inside, the hot dog part, isn't quite going to get there. Got my rack, and my first batch is going to come out. Look at this. Doesn't that look wonderful? Oh, these look so good. Okay, here we go for round 2. And now for the little ones. Frank, my grandson, would absolutely love these. He loves a hot dog better than anything, except for maybe fish sticks. He loves fish sticks. Oh, last summer when my cousin's grandchildren were here, we had so much fun making these. And let me give a shout out to Hudson. He has a YouTube channel and it's called Hanging with Huck. I'll actually post a link to his videos in the description. He's just got a lot of fun stuff. He does stunts and just got some real cool videos for your kids. They're usually maybe 2 minutes long at the most. So if you get a chance, look him up. They're all done. And don't they look wonderful? by the way, I'm not eating all of these myself. Some of these are going into the freezer. I individually wrap them and freeze them, and then we heat them up in the air fryer, and they're so, so good. My husband loves to have that when he comes home for lunch. Now, you didn't think I was gonna have a corn dog without a cherry limeade, did you? I'm gonna show you real quick how to make one. They're so good and so easy. I've got some muscarino cherries, and I'm gonna put a couple in there and just pour about 2 tablespoons of muscarino cherry juice. And you want to make sure you start with the cherries and the juice first. Then I've got my lime. I'm gonna squeeze that and add as many slices as you like. And now, my Sprite. You can use 7-Up, any lemon lime flavored cola will do. Yum. This looks so good. Now, I'll take this one right here. Oh, and by the way, here's the little small ones for little hands. Just remove your toothpick and it's perfect for those little ones. Now, I have a little bit of mustard, and that's going on one side. Now, if my husband was making one, which he will here in just a few minutes, he would have mayonnaise on it. He likes mayonnaise on his corn dog. I think he'd put mayonnaise on anything if he could. And just a little bit of ketchup. And let's see how we did. Yo, this is so amazing. Yes, I would stand in line for this. It is so good. And look at the center. It's light and fluffy. And I really believe that cooking those hot dogs first makes a big difference. But hey, if you don't want to do that, then just skip that step. Oh, perfection right here. You're a blessing to me. Thanks so much for watching today. Will you press that like button, share it with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye.